Ooh, okay. Welcome back to the official Survivor Kingston recap show. For starters, it's the guy who you have to get rid of before he bites you. It's Chris Rossi.
Yep, that's me.
And his co-host, Chris, tells me he's been seeing me here way too many times. He's been telling me to get away. He doesn't want to see me here. It's me, your co-host, Ben Dantowitz, in the booth with Chris Rossi. Chris, how are you feeling about this merge episode?
I actually really enjoyed this episode. It felt like I've been waiting forever for this. So it was a pleasant surprise to hear that it was coming out a day late. I will add, but well worth the wait in my eyes.
Not a dollar short, that's for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah, it delivered on a lot of hype. I really liked. I mean, even just starting off, like we had the cliffhanger, but it was like actually,
None at all.
it's not about the cliffhanger. It's much more about these tribe dynamics, this merge. HB immediately wins the immunity. We go right into game mode.
Yep.
And yeah, I mean, it's hard to get all of these like chats that are happening, but we get a couple of good group chats. We get some really fun confessionals, and we just see all the targets flying around. It's Gabe and Clark, this big duo. We got to get them out. That Elaine kind of called her shot. It's maybe we get Tom out. Is he the guy to get out? Is Evie connected to HB? Does Bear have to get some heat off of her after HB gets the immunity? So
Yep.
yeah, a lot of shots being fired all over the camp, and I mean, I don't even know how to make sense of like what the advantages that like people are going to use or not use
Yeah.
comes into play here. But
It was nice.
there's a lot of options on the table.
Yep. They announced HB's right away that it was she has to use it once it gets down to 7. I believe she can't use it before then, and then if she does get eliminated prior to that, she has to give it to somebody. I believe that was
Right.
All right. So
Yeah. So it's like that legacy advantage, meaning
Yeah.
that it gets passed down.
yes, so that'll be interesting. First thing I noticed on this episode was, obviously Gabe and Clark, beware, and Elaine has a really good grasp on what's going on, it seems. And it also helps that all 5 yellow are still, Capybara, sorry, are around.
Yeah. It's we still have these 5 capybaras strong, these 5 yellows as they refer to themselves. But ultimately, we have this really fun thing happen where instead of trying to like play the idol in the first tribal here, Gabe just up and leaves. He's not trying to make a big play to save him and Clark.
He's just
I'm
like-
personally
Yeah.
I'm personally curious to know if we were going to see a vote split if Gabe stayed, just given how the numbers were falling. Because if you've got Clark gets voted at 8-1 here, but
Yeah.
you could have gone like with a 4-4-2 split and forced
It
the idol
never
to get
seemed
flushed
to
in
be.
one
It
tribal.
never seemed to be mentioned at all. I don't know if they would have done that. Obviously, they knew Gabe had some ammunition, but Gabe just dropped it on the table and said, I'm not going anywhere. I'm still in this game."
Even Clark before tribal knows that Gabe has the idol, but I don't think even Clark makes it
don't
known
think-
to us that he has safety without power, which
Correct.
is only really interesting because, and this is really cutely edited, where Adam just picks up and puts down this water jug right on top of the advantage, and we get a very different first tribal, and then of course the rest of this game unfolds probably quite differently if Gabe doesn't have that escape hatch. So that was a really fun moment. Obviously, it's hard to see all the moments come together, but it's very cool to see that pivotal one happen.
So
and unfold.
Adam, we think knew that was there, but didn't have time to
No,
grab
I
it.
don't
Or do you
think
think he
so.
missed it entirely?
I think Adam isn't looking for it.
Okay, I feel like when he put it
Adam's-
back, I couldn't tell. Clark, I thought at one point averted his eyes towards it and noticed it, but then I rewound and I was like, no,
That's
mind.
what I
don't
thought
think he
too,
did.
but yeah, at a glance.
And then Gabe,
Yeah,
of course,
I think Gabe's just looking for it and he gets it.
just walks
But
right
yeah,
up to it.
very
boom.
very funny to see Adam just miss that, and it has this domino that I mean he's probably happy with the boot order after this episode. So
Correct.
no complaints from Adam as far as I'm concerned.
Yep.
So yeah, we get to this tribal, get to this first tribal, and yeah, I mean, Hannah the Brown's got the immunity, and we start to hear about all these different ideas, all these options about what could be going on, and then when Gabe up and leaves, then we get this live tribal,
just like-
and it's fun because you've got this live tribal. We know it's going to be an 8-1 vote out, but we get Bones and Bear kind of like playing with Clark,
Yeah.
and I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued just about like how people show their cards here. It seems like everyone kind of knows where everyone stands based on where the live tribal even goes, let
Yep.
alone where people actually vote.
Yep.
Maybe there were some moments with some crosstalk, but it looked like we really just had these two factions. Adam pops over and talks to Clark and Bones and
Bear.
Bear. So
Yep.
maybe Adam's a little bit on the outside of that
yellow.
core Capybara alliance.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see who's in the middle. But otherwise, really, we just hear Bones talk about how he's in the middle, and Bones has that tight 2 with Elaine from the split. So
I think
really, we're looking at like those two kind of riding the middle right now.
I think Bear could have voted an other way, but knowing that the whole team was voting Clark, like he knew it was not smart enough probably for him to vote for anybody else other than Clark at that point.
Yeah, it just begs the question, and you let us know in the comments, like how do you know who to team up with when it's an individual game? It's just it's a good question. I don't have the answer. Maybe it was rhetorical,
And
but if you got the answer,
yeah,
let me know.
I don't think Clark had enough time during that little scramble to fess his to give himself a case for that. Like I think they were pretty set on Gabe, and if not Gabe, Clark. And once Gabe dropped that advantage on them, Clark's heart. My heart sunk. I was like, oh my gosh, see ya, Clark.
Yeah, it is really funny though, right? Where it's like, and I hate to say it, but it's like my pregame question was just like, Clark merge boot, because
Yeah,
my pregame analysis was like, well, I know Clark, he's got to be a big threat probably,
and they all knew it.
and they're gonna keep him around in the pre-merge. They're gonna be like, oh, Clark is strong, Clark is fast, Clark can do puzzles, and then they just get rid of him immediately.
I think it's funny that they're talking about how Gabe and Clark are the two big physical threats, and it's like right in front of Gabe during Tribal is Bear, whose thing literally says personal trainer on it. So clearly he's
Body by Brando.
Bones is an athlete too, if I recall. He played.
No, Bones can't play basketball, and you have to be good at basketball to be an athlete.
Oh, this is true.
Yeah. No, I think like up and down the board, there's a lot of players that are sporty in some capacity.
Exactly.
So it is funny. But Elaine kind of called the shot last week. Was like, this guy's a threat. You haven't even seen him play the puzzles, and so big kudos to Elaine getting this big target out. Obviously, everyone kind of got on board from there.
Yep.
But
And we recognize she needs to kind of hang out in the back a little bit, just so she's not showing that.
Right, now that she's driven this, I mean, it really is like the Gabler effect here. She called her shot. She got Clark out. Now she's going to just go under the surface, hang out.
Smart.
But so we finished that, and after that first one, we hear from HB that the target's still on Gabe. What's funny is Gabe at the beginning makes it sound like a lot of people wanted HB out, but then she won the immunity, and then the chatter really makes me think that Gabe was really pushing for HB to get voted out.
To have been.
So I'm having a good time just watching the chatter around camp from everybody. But we go into this immunity challenge, the second challenge. Did you have a pick for who's going to be the best eater here?
I thought Gabe, honestly. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was the boots.
You didn't have like any Evie pick because of her relationship to Phil being a top eater from season 1.
I didn't even think about that.
You didn't think it was going to be in the genes?
I didn't even think about that. I should have. That's on me.
Yeah. I mean, it's really on all of us because Bear is eating 2 times in the opening credits. 2 times. He's eating in the merge feast and he's eating in this challenge, and it's just Luke's laying the breadcrumbs right there in front of us, expertly edited, and then Bear just cleans up this immunity challenge. I mean, we should know better, Chris. We're not watching the edit closely enough. We're just amateurs enjoying some Survivor Kingston.
I feel like early on I was overanalyzing the intros, and I was trying to stop doing that this time. Although I did like that Tom's included him wiping out. That's the one thing I did note from the intros.
But anyway, yeah, Bear gets the immunity, and then we kind of get exactly what we expect with Tribal. The only thing I guess that's interesting is how Bones and Elaine play it, where Bones plays on this one side, saying he's with Bear and Gabe, and then Elaine knows that the idol is going to get played, but Elaine votes with everybody else. I mean, it's a classic Survivor play where you're buying favor with one side and then not like pissing them off.
Yep. I was screaming at my TV.
It's like good cop, bad cop.
Yeah, I'm like, why is nobody talking about splitting this vote? I'm like, everybody and their mother knows that Gabe has this idol. Why are they? It
seemed like not everybody knew that Gabe had an idol, though. That's actually what my takeaway was. It seemed like Elaine knew and that Bones knew, but not that everybody back on the rest of Capybara, OG Capybara knew.
She was trying
so they were like, oh, Gabe's maybe got something. Everybody knew that Gabe had the extra vote because Bear and Tom were there when Gabe got it, and so people were like, oh, Gabe lied about that. So there was some desire to vote him out, but it seemed like not everybody actually was fully clued in that Gabe had the immunity idol.
That's true. And
especially with the safety without power being like a confusing, like, oh, was that his free ticket out? So now he's burned it.
Yeah.
Obviously it was a little bit messy, but yeah, Elaine doesn't want the vote to be split. Elaine wants HB to get taken out by the minority vote, so she's happy with it. She doesn't spill all that information.
Yep. I was texting Luke as the episode was going on, and I was like, why didn't they split here? And he's like, yeah, I don't know, man. And then all of a sudden, the post edit where it shows the whole thing, and that was like, I think that was really well done by Luke. And shout out to Zach, I believe he said, for recording that part, getting that on camera. I think that was big to show the strategy behind that decision. That was huge.
And yeah, Elaine kind of lays out the end game for us, saying that Elaine, Bones, Evie, that original trio that we highlighted as looking like a strong trio at the beginning of the season, looking good. I don't know why we don't hear from Tom, but Elaine thinks that Tom has Tom Bones Adam in the final three. So
Yeah, that was.
it'll be interesting to see who flips where and when they get to the number, if it's 8, if it's 7, where they feel like someone's got to make a move on Capybara, because there's no way Bear's getting voted out early, right? Like Bear's gonna make like final 5, final 4 as a number, like 100%.
Yep.
And
Mandy
so
as well, I think.
I have a similar feeling for Mandy too, where Mandy's got safety without power.
Yep.
Gabe might be out of moves, but Gabe and Bear do have the extra votes now, and they're aligned. So those two players have 4 votes, and there are only 6 other votes. So they could make something happen with 1 or 2 allies.
I'm picturing Adam trying to get Tom out for some reason. I don't know why. That's just
Interesting.
What I'm thinking. I don't know. That's
Adam seems so content with his 5.
This is
So
true.
content that he doesn't even want to pick up advantages in the corner of the water well. So content.
Also in that
Why
water well-
why tempt fate?
Yeah. Is Clark getting paid, do you think, by Sonic to have a Sonic cup on his person at all times? I feel like there's always just a big, extra large Sonic cup. And it's not his water bottle, but there's just also a Sonic cup. I don't know why. It makes me laugh every time I see it.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you. I will say, yeah, we get all I know is I hope he got a shower when he got to sit on the jury. You know, like when the Survivor jury like to come
Yeah,
back,
yeah.
they're like wearing like a
Washed up.
suit and tie all of a sudden,
Yeah.
and they look like immaculate. It's like I'm excited to see like the jury just like have their glow up where they were like in the camp and now they get to like take a shower, but like
Suit, yeah.
yeah,
And-
but everything's like smaller budget, so maybe they don't have like the fanciest like attire to change into. Clark just had like a little vest for this tribal.
I didn't know if we'd come back to this, but I gotta say, second tribal, Becky. I didn't want to put Becky on blast, but she feels bad about her camera work, but a little blurry, a little zoomed out. You saw the people hanging out in the back. I know she feels bad about it. Luke's been giving her a hard time, but Becky was back on camera for this, and Luke wasn't happy about it. Then he put her on blast.
A little behind the scenes on the background being more in focus than Luke. But
Yeah.
honestly, I'll go right out there and say it. You know, it's about the players that got eliminated. It's not about Luke, and I'm okay with that. So, you know, Luke, happy to have you playing the role of Jeff Probst. But you know,
She was
it's about the
showcasing
cast.
behind the
It's
scenes
not about the
talent.
host.
That's a good spin.
Yeah.
That's a good spin. I like that.
So, but yeah, as far as the rest of the game going forward, I mean, it's gonna be a collision course here.
It's
Everyone's
Elaine
getting
and
voted
Bones?
out, like left and right.
Elaine and Bones
What's
is the
that?
game to lose.
I think so. I
Yeah,
think so.
gotta be.
Someone's got to make a move. Bones kind of said in that last tribal, like, you know, like, oh yeah, anytime could be a time to make a big move, but the people doing good stuff don't usually want to make the big moves. I'd be curious to see, do you think Elaine or Bones are the ones to turn on each other?
That's a good question. I can see one of them trying and failing. I don't know why, but I don't think it's worth it yet for them. I do think, I don't know. I think they're going to both kind of coast in the back for a little bit and see what plays out.
Alrighty. And do you think these extra votes, these safeties at powers, do you think that's going to throw a wrench in anyone's plans? The same way we saw some wrenches getting thrown this week.
I don't know if it's going to it won't have as big of an impact as this one, I don't think, did. Whether people don't play that when they need to play it and they just play it because they have to, because they're going to run out of time before they lose it, you know? But I don't see any of the people that have them trying to make a power move quite yet.
Fair enough. Well, I mean, with that said, do you have any other parting thoughts? Who's this player of the week for you?
Elaine, definitely.
Just Elaine. She's rolling.
She's always my pick of the week, it seems. Are you pro or against these bloopers at the end? Because I'm here for them. I love the bloopers.
Big pro blooper. Big
Okay.
pro blooper. Yeah. It's going to be an expectation of mine.
Yep.
Cross my fingers that they keep putting them out. But yeah, that's good stuff.
I'm hoping for an end of season
Absolutely.
full blooper reel. That'd be great.
I'd watch it. I'd recap it with you.
Ooh.
I'd do bits on it. Yeah.
That's all I got. Good episode. Excited for next week. Sorry, Clark. Sorry, HB. Tough to see you go.
Yeah. It's going to be tougher and tougher to see everyone go. All right. Well, I mean, this could be the last moment for this week's recap. Like, if you don't say anything else, Chris, this might be the last